Once again, good morning grade 9 science students. This is the English version of our lesson about living things and their environment. You can also check the Bisaya and Tagalog version of this lesson. Now in part 4, because this is the part 4 of our lesson about explaining the different patterns of non-Mendelian inheritance, this part, the final part, focuses on DNA as the blueprint of life. But before that, let us first copy and screenshot the important words and their meanings. Shown here is a very beautiful house, right? How I wish I could have a house like this in the future. Now, if you want to build a house, what will be the first step to do? Alright? The first thing to do is to begin by making a plan. Okay? You need to design your bedroom. You need to make a design for your bathroom, kitchen, living room, etc., etc. The beauty of your house then depends heavily on how you make your plan or how you design for your plan. Okay? Now, your plan is called blueprint because blueprint is simply the plan or the guide to make something. So this is an example of a blueprint. You're going to draw or to imagine what will your hall look like, what will your bathroom look like, what will your garage look like, what will your living room look like, etc., etc. It is in your blueprint that you can see your whole house look like. Okay, now this is your actual house and this is the blueprint of your house. The design that you have made in your blueprint will be also the design that you will see in your actual house. Simply put, this garage here look like this because this is how the way it looks and how the way it is being designed in your blueprint. All layouts and all the design of this house is based on this blueprint that you have made. With that said, the question is, what about us? What about human body? What about the body of this boy? Is there anything that we can call as blueprint that we will base our skin color, our hair color, the shape of our ears, the shape of our lips, the color of our eyes, the shape of our toes and fingers? Is there anyone? The answer is yes. There is also a plan or a blueprint for our body, or simply called as the blueprint of life. And the answer is DNA. DNA is called the blueprint of life. Then this is the uh, image of DNA. DNA is very long. Shown here is just a portion or a segment of our DNA strand. DNA strand is described as the double helix. Double helix, no? This is the double helix structure of our DNA. To sum them up, the blueprint of your house is this, while the blueprint of your body is this. Now, a blueprint here for your house is made by architects, no? Architects will do the design, the drawing of your house plan. But what about this blueprint here, our DNA? Who is the architect? The architect will be our parents, our father and mother, because half of our DNA is coming from our father and half of our DNA is coming from our mother. Of course, their DNA will be inherited down to the children in the form of sperm cell and egg cell, okay? In the form of sperm cell and egg cell. All right. Another example is this. The skin color of this hand is something like brown. That is because being brown is recorded in his DNA. Okay? This is my skin. The color of my skin is brown, and being brown of my skin is found in my DNA that is inherited from my parents. Okay? But another question is this. Where can we see this DNA inside our body? where can we locate DNA? Okay, if that is your question, then we would find it later in this discussion. Okay, our DNA is located in every part of our body, from head to toe. We can see DNA, but how do we see DNA? Okay, do we see DNA in this picture? Of course not. We need to make this picture a little bit closer. Now, can we see DNA in this picture? Of course not. Let's make it more closer. Is there any DNA? Of course not. How about this one? Let's make it closer. Still no DNA. Closer. Still no DNA. Now, if you view this skin a little bit more closer by using a microscope, you can see now that the skin is made up of many cells. Okay, skin is made up of many cells. You have here the cell, 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 cell. Now, if we get one cell and magnify this one, we can see this image. Okay, this is our cell, the basic unit of our body. Now, cell has many organelles or has many parts. You have here the Golgi apparatus, ribosome, lysosome, the plasmic reticulum, DNA, nucleus, mitochondrion, cell membrane, and cytoplasm. Now here, there is the DNA here. Now DNA is something like found in the nucleus here. So, meaning to say, DNA is found inside the cell, specifically inside the nucleus of the cell. Now let's try to make this nucleus bigger so that we can see the DNA. Now this is the nucleus, the violet circle, and inside the nucleus are finally the DNA that we are looking for. Okay, this is the DNA here. You try to observe the double helix structure of our DNA strand. Okay, this is our DNA inside the nucleus. Another picture of DNA that is animated is this. The moving portions or the moving double helix structure of DNA is very visible. You can see the beautiful structure of our DNA inside the nucleus of our cell. Okay, now we need to look back at our lesson from module part 2 and part 3 of this lesson. We know that chromosome chromosome is made up of DNA, because actually this is the DNA strand. When the DNA strand is being coiled, or when DNA strand is being condensed, it will become chromosome. Okay, meaning to say chromosome is just made of DNA, condensed DNA. Right in this picture, we'll try to make this a little bit closer here. One part of a chromosome is emphasized is the double helix structure of DNA here. This is the coiled or condensed DNA. Okay, meaning to say chromosome is made up of condensed DNA found inside the nucleus of the cell. Okay, we have here this one, the nucleus of the cell. Now in this nucleus, chromosomes are visible already, because meaning to say DNA are already condensed. Okay, now another thing to look back is that because we know that chromosomes are made up of DNA. Inside the chromosome are thing that we found also that we can call it as gene. Okay, genes. You have here gene, 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 gene. Now there is a specific area for a gene to be located inside the chromosome. And now, because genes are found in the chromosome and chromosomes are made up of DNA, meaning to say genes are also found in DNA. And actually, as the thing that you need to be informed here, genes are found in DNA. A segment of DNA is called gene. For example, here, from this area up to this area, we will shade this area here. This one is called one gene. This is a gene. Maybe this gene here codes for the hair color. Another gene here codes for the shape of the lips. Another gene here, this one up to this area here, codes for the shape of the finger, and all the rest, all characteristics, all physical characteristics, all phenotype of this boy is coded or recorded inside his DNA. Okay, now because we are going to learn more about DNA, we need to tackle about that later. But first thing I want you to know is this: to sum this picture up, uh, chromosome chromosome are made up of chromosomes are made up of DNA, and genes are found in a specific area inside the chromosome. Meaning to say, genes are also found in DNA strand, like this one shaded part, because chromosome is just made of this DNA. Okay, more about DNA we will learn is this: that DNA is made up of a single unit. It's made up of one part. Then this part will be repeating itself to make a sequence, to make a long strand of DNA. And this part here is called nucleotide. This one. One nucleotide will be repeating itself to make a long strand of DNA. Here, we have here one nucleotide, another nucleotide, another nucleotide, another nucleotide. This image of DNA is uncoiled. And to say here, at first, this is our DNA. But when we uncoil the DNA here, this will be the image. You will notice that DNA strand is made up of repeating units called nucleotide. Here, in this strand, we can see one nucleotide, another nucleotide, another nucleotide, okay, and so on. Now, one nucleotide is made up of three groups. We have here the groups of phosphate, sugar group, and base group. Now, base has different kinds. We have T, C, A, G. T stands for thymine, cytosine, adenine, and guanine. Now, you need to remember that this pair of bases will pair always on his partner nucleotide. In this illustration here, we can see that thymine always pairs with adenine, cytosine always pairs with guanine, or adenine always pairs with thymine, and guanine always pairs with cytosine. There is no case that thymine will pair with guanine or thymine will pair with cytosine. Okay? Now, we have a question. One chain of DNA molecule has a nucleotide sequence of C, C, G, C, T. The question is, what is the sequence of the nucleotides on its partner chain? Because genes are found to be in pairs, right? Here, in this picture, we can see that this is the first pair and this is the partner pair. Okay? So, it needs to become in partners. Now, what is the sequence? Okay, it talks about the sequence like this. So, the sequence of the nucleotides on its partner chain is this. We have here the G, we have here G, we have here C, we have here G and T. Because in a nucleotide sequence, C always partners with J, C always partners with J, G always partners with C, and C always partners with J, G, and then T always partners with A. I mean, this is A, okay? This is A. Okay, that is how you partner the different bases of nucleotides in a DNA strand. Okay, I hope you learned so much for this video. Before I end this video, I need to give thanks first to these picture sources, to these links where I obtained those important pictures in this video. You can also comment down your questions if you have, and see you in our next lesson. Have a nice day.